You're listening to One Family, What's God Doing? Where we explore what God's doing in YWAM locations throughout Virginia. We can't wait for you to find out what God's doing today.
Welcome back to What's God Doing? And this is a special episode because we want to tell you about something new and exciting. And that's why I've got Chris Zinchuck here. Chris, what is God doing?
Yeah, well, happy Thanksgiving, Paul. It's that time of year.
It is.
And we really have a wonderful gift that we want to present to our YWAM extended family and friends. And we are launching a project that we've been working on for a couple years now. And that is a new ministry that's actually a website. Our YWAMVA.org website is relaunching. And, you know, when we generally think about a ministry website, we think about it being almost like a brochure.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, these are the programs we have. This is how you can engage with us. This is how you can donate and things like that. But basically, the Lord put on our heart this idea that what if our website itself was a ministry? What if everyone who came to the website got touched with the truth of solid biblical teaching, you know, because the word of the Lord will not return void. And what if they left changed when they stopped to see our virtual space? So this weekend, we're launching YWAMVA.org. And this website is a ministry that contains several different types of media. The main cornerstone piece is our online courses. And then it also has blogs, and it has its own community inside of it, almost like a pseudo Facebook kind of community. It has podcasts. We are recording worship music, and we have different authors like yourself, for example. You've written books. We're going to have those books available on the site as well. But I wanted to share why this is important for this period of time. And if you might have remembered from a recent podcast that Lauren Cunningham, the founder of Youth with a Mission, just passed away. And, you know, a lot of organizations or movements fail to be successful in carrying out their vision after their founders pass. This is just a very natural process. You know, that the visionary component, once it's gone, it doesn't always carry out the same way that they originally had intended. So I believe right now that this is a very strategic moment for YWAM internationally. And so for us at YWAM Virginia, I believe there's two very, very specific railroad tracks, so to speak, that we're walking on, that if we go forward with these two values, then the spirit and the anointing of what the Lord had placed upon Lauren will be refreshed through our particular mission. And those two are honor and generosity. And I really believe that as we launch this new website, we want to do it in a spirit of honor and generosity. So the honor piece is there have been many, many YWAMers, young and old, who have spent years investing their lives in missions, and they have authority and they understand a particular aspect of God's heart for missions, and they want to pass that on for missions and discipleship.
Mm-hmm.
And this site is designed to honor those folks. You know, you want to honor your teachers. And what if we had a place where we can collate and curate the extraordinary anointing of teaching throughout Youth with a Mission? So we want to protect the DNA of YWAM and our teaching. So almost everyone who's on the site, we are honoring them by placing their teaching on the site. And then the generosity is, you know, as YWAMers, we do not expect to have any financial compensation for what we do. We do everything by donating our time and our resources in whatever we can to the Great Commission. And so this site as well is filled with a tremendous amount of people who have donated their time, whether it's setting up hospitality, whether it's working in our digital studio, doing sound editing, video editing, recording. There's just countless hours that have gone into this over the last couple years. So we have over 200 terabytes of recorded teachings at this point. I don't know if you can wrap your head around that, but that's like 400 computers. So with that, we want to basically present this gift to our YWAM family this weekend and ask people to join in onboarding to our new ministry.
People might be wondering, well, what does this look like, Chris? Is there a way for people to see it?
Oh, yes. Let me show you. All right. This is the new website, YWAMVA.org. And as you look at the hero video, it's called there, you'll see the gospel going out to the nations, but the caption is, "It's time to get real." We're living in a season where artificial intelligence is growing quickly, and I know that the Lord has a lot planned for the world through that technology. But everything here is focused in on making sure that real human beings made in the image of God hear God's voice and translate what the Lord is speaking to them and teaching them in the real world. So that's what we mean when we say it's time to get real. It's real humans hearing from God and obeying. And that is the culture that is being released into this website. So as you come here onto the website, there are, obviously a few tabs on the top, but we are highlighting our instructors from all over the world. We have 4 different campuses, which you can reach those different campuses. But then this next tab is our courses, and I'm going to pull that up right here. So we have, I think right now, Paul, you might know better than me, but I'm guessing it's about 25 courses that are loaded into the system.
Yep, 26 if you count the goat one.
Okay. Yes, I'm working on that one. It's not finished, but it'll be finished soon. More than goats.
People are going to want to go to the goat one now. They're going to be confused and intrigued at the same time.
It'll be the number 1 course on YWAM.org. But here's how we got started. If you notice, we have speakers here from different segments of the Bible. We have 12 weeks that was taken from our discipleship Bible school in Richmond, Virginia. And each week's teaching is captured into a course here. So we have late prophets, early prophets, David, tribal, Pentateuch, Kings. Oh, there's the goat one that we just talked about. John, Paul, post-exilic and intertestamental. Basically, the entire Bible. It's a Bible survey course. And you can go in, and the idea behind these courses is that they accompany your reading of the scripture. And this is another aspect of us honoring Lauren. Lauren's last message was, we need to get the Bible in the hands of everyone in the world in their own mother tongue, and we need to teach them to understand the Bible. So these particular courses are going to teach you the historical context and the cultural context. We also have an entire series, 62 lessons from Coach Tim Powers, who's an incredibly anointed physical fitness instructor. So we have several of his courses on here. AI and missions is another one that I'm working on. And then we have many devotionals. There's Paul right there. But, podcasting for the kingdom, journey through 1 John. There's several different courses on here. So we're going to continue to add courses. But here's how it works. Let's maybe take this one right here, the eating system. So you click on it. It's an hour and 15 minutes long. There's 5 quizzes and 5 lessons, and you click on it. And once you get in there, you can go through the different lessons on the course. So you watch the video. It's got a list of materials and different additional resources. And then after the lesson, there is a quiz you can take a quiz to see how much you've learned from that particular lesson. And then you finish the quiz, and then you get points for completing that particular lesson. So this is the main cornerstone, the foundational piece of this particular site. In addition to that, as you see here, we've got our blogs. And this is something that I really, really want to encourage folks to think about doing. It's really kind of a call to action. So take Lauren's blog, for example. This is YWAM Celebrates the Life of Lauren. If you click on it, you will get a podcast video from What's God Doing, or some other podcasts that we've done. You'll get an actual written article, and then you have an opportunity to make comments, and then you can share this with others. And I would really ask folks to consider subscribing to the blog, because, watching it once a week. Blog will come up once a week. It's always going to be mission related, and then sharing that with someone who they believe will be blessed by knowing what God is doing in the nations. So we've got that. And then we've got podcasts on our podcast channels. Currently we have 3 podcast channels: What's God Doing? And then we have Where Did You See God?, which is hosted by yours truly. And this last one was Sitting in Suffering. And I think you had an entire year, correct? Like 50
whole year in that series. Yep.
Yeah. And then this has Table Salts, and that's hosted by Fauger Baptista. And so those podcasts are available there. There's more on the site, but that's kind of the nuts and bolts of it. And yet again, what I wanted to say is this site is a ministry, Paul. Mm-hmm. And I'm really excited about launching a brand new ministry as we come to the conclusion of 2023.
And so people could probably hear all this and understand how that ministry could benefit them. And that is true. We want anybody who comes to this site to feel like they come to know God more deeply, come to know who God's created them to be and how he is inviting them. But this isn't just for them. We're actually seeing God doing something that could be global, that could go into all the world.
So basically our target for this is over the next 3 years, we want to build the learning database or interactive participants to 10,000 people. And let me just give you an example of kind of how that works. Like right now we have a ministry operating location of YWAM Virginia in the Dominican Republic, and it's led by a Brazilian family that is incredible at soccer, and they have 250 kids there. And these are mostly orphan kids, or a lot of them are Haitian, even though they're in the Dominican Republic. And this particular course is supporting them because they'll be able to go get NFL level training, right? Major League Baseball level training through coaches teaching, and have that delivered to them. And then the Bible, we want to keep the Bible at the center of everything. We have right now a Bible training through these courses going on in China, right? And we have graduating students from that. And our heart is to find places all over the world that need the Bible, need really good Bible teaching and training, and we're giving this away, to them. Yeah. So this is a legitimate ministry that is touching people in every, can touch them in any nation in the world. And of course, with artificial intelligence and translation changing the way that it is, we're going to be able to start translating this into different languages very, very soon. We already are doing that, but the pace at which we can do that is really accelerating.
Yeah. Another example is we're currently working on a course that is being built for YWAM Burundi. And Burundi, at least the last I saw, was listed as one of, if not the poorest country in the world. And to be able for us to give of ourselves for a space that might find it hard even to have access to internet is really exciting to see what God's doing, because that's not something that we had seen or pursued in and of ourselves, but God is bringing these things together. So it is a legit ministry that God has been building for years. So how can people come alongside this ministry?
Yeah, well, as I shared before, the first thing I would say is go onto the blog and just make a commitment. Hey, I'm willing to share this once a week. And then you can share it on Facebook. You can share it by email. You can share it by text. You can share it WhatsApp, Telegram, Signal, whatever. You just get the link. It'll come up as a social card, and you can send it out. That's number one. Number two is after you've watched it and you've shared it, invite someone else to watch it and share it. And then you can also give, of course, we have invested a lot of resources into this, and, our monthly budget is at least, $5,000 a month to just keep this running. I'm in our studio. We have an entire house here of equipment. We've got digital equipment that we travel with, but there's a lot of resources that it takes to keep this going. And so, giving, which there's a link on the site that you can do that as well. But really the main thing is take the courses, pass it on, give it as a gift for Christmas, get the link and say, you know what, out of all the things I can give for Christmas, I would love to give the gift of Bible knowledge and understanding and Bible teaching and training.
That's exciting. And there really are multiple ways. At the very least, anybody who comes to the site, one of the ways that you can access it is right now you can try Coach's course for free. The eating systems one that we looked at, you can see it right now. And I love the fact that somebody who does choose to give, that they feel like God's calling with generosity, the idea that their gift is actually having a real global impact right now in countries around the world. And the scaling of that, the ability to reach more and more people, they will be a part of that. And so, yeah, this has been an exciting process, and it is still going. And, as we close out, is there a verse that God's been putting on your heart?
Yeah, Romans 12:10, outdo one another in showing honor. It's like a challenge. I challenge you to outdo someone else in honoring. Whatever ways that we can do as a believer to honor others can do nothing but build the kingdom.
Yeah. So folks have an opportunity to show honor to those who are sharing their stories or have taught courses, and that's great. But I want to show honor to you right now, because somebody could be fooled into thinking that the story of this coming together was you saying, hey, let's build out the website. Hey, let's do a learning management system. But that's not what it was. In fact, this has been years and years of you stepping in obedience from small little hints that God gave, dreams or thoughts or senses or ideas that at certain moments we're like, we have no idea where this is going, but it's clear that God is inviting us to something. And over the last few years, your faithfulness has allowed a team of us to be able to see these pieces come together that we never thought actually fit together. And suddenly here we are on the cusp of a ministry that we didn't have planned, but that you and I were talking earlier about how excited we are about what God has the potential to do through this. So thank you for your faithfulness and steps of obedience. And I'm excited to see where this goes. And I want to thank all of you for listening and for joining us as we together as one family explore what it means to know God and make him known.
Thank you so much for joining us for this episode of One Family, What's God Doing? If you'd like to learn more about what God's doing in Virginia, visit us at ywamva.org and join us next week for more stories of God at work.